Alrighty, let's take a look at what we got here on my Cyclops theme video. So I dragged the MIDI file into FL and into the sampler, and this is what it looks like in its totality. Right, a lot going on there. I deduced quite quickly that this is the drum track because the note's not particularly in key. So this is the kick drum, and then this is the snare. So I grabbed those and I put them here. Just that classic galloping rhythm. Right, and then the chords look like this. And you see there's root notes on this bass, and then a power chord of the fifth above on the snare hits. I think that's pretty cool, just those like rolling bass notes and then stabs on the upbeats. And then the lead guitar still has a piano here. Just this awesome thing. A lot of minor third intervals. These really shredding patterns, I think you can learn a lot from, where it goes like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 3 2 3 2, and then walks down the scales. Like you establish a little pattern of triplets, typically, and then walk down the scale and establish another pattern of triplets, and then walk down the scale again, do the same thing, and walk back up. And like that's how you can play a lot of notes without the listener getting fatigued and confused, because you're playing something really simple, like just playing this. Oops. It's pretty simple, and you just shred that. Like if you're a guitar player, the easiest thing to do is establish a riff and then just move it up a string or up 3 frets, yada yada yada. But like the simple patterns at speed are the takeaway lesson in playing like something that shreds. And then you just throw in fucking minor third intervals on top, and there's your harmony. And this is also something I thought was cool, where to get a rising sound, it's not actually any new notes. It's always A sharp and F sharp, and they just rise like that in such a cool way that like doesn't require you to walk up the scale exactly, but it's cool and it's tense. That's definitely a stealable idea. So this version sounds like and then that just happens twice, and then that's the sample of the song. So the first thing I thought to do was I made the chords just a little tiny more human with the addition of a third upbeat. That's just a little walk-ups from the bass notes. And I threw this down as well. rhythmic bass, I put in a really droning bass where these notes just ring out really slowly, really whole. So it fills out the sound of the song. So there's like a chiming, ringing sound in the background. And then I even enhanced that by just mimicking those bass notes on something just high and ringing and kind of varied. And then, of course, I made the lead into our beloved Inferno from Citrus. And so the beginning of the song doesn't change much. I did a little intro on the drums just to make it more human and complete sounding. Let's start a bit of a listen. To get to this chorus where I did make it more chorusy, particularly in the drums. So let's take a look at those, because the verse drums just look like that, and those are, I added one snare at the end of every measure, every bar, to just like have something going on, and then the chorus starts here. So, more snare hits, a little cymbal work, and then leaving a gap for that that cool chord part that unifies the bass and the lead. I wanted to leave a gap for that and then settle into the next verse and kind of bring it down a notch so that we have a quick high in that chorus and then come down. Also, to keep it fresh and interesting, I changed up this thing that was just mimicking the bass, now is doing its own thing, so it catches your attention, because when the song starts to repeat, that's a good opportunity to offer something fresh for the listener to just newly grab onto. Breakdown section, I think everything needs a bit where the drums actually drop out and you get a second to breathe and you establish your heart rate again, so it calms down before coming back. So the chorus here just repeats twice, and I just glued all these things together to make that repeat, and then started making little changes. There's a drum fill here. I'm not yet super thrilled with it on this listen through, but I'll keep working on that. The biggest addition that I made is in the guitar part, where I felt like this was the signature bit of the song. This stuff here, like that, it's a cool descending part, so it's the thing that I jumped up an octave and made repeat. Little trick to kind of make this these notes fade out interestingly. I just repeated the note, and then it's panned to one side and played at a lower velocity. So if you're listening on headphones, you'll hear how it plays and it sounds like this note just pans to one side as it's ringing. It's actually a second note doing it. Thing that just threw me into an obsessive fit was to try and double up this thing at the ending. Because I was like, yeah, I'll just copy and paste this twice, add in one note, and it'll make that ending doubly long. I just fucking worked on that for 70 years. No blinking, no going to the bathroom. It was chaotic and shitty, and I wish I could Control Z enough to get all the way back and just make it never happen. But I'm okay with this thing that came out of it. I might, actually, I know I'm going to keep working on this now because this listen through tweaked me on a couple of things that I can hear that I don't like. But I'm going to make also just a screen grab of the song unto itself so that it can be listened to unbroken. And this is my first attempt at remixing an existing MIDI. Cheers.